If I ask you to concentrate on feeling from within your feet or any other part of your body right now, would you be able to do so? Just try it for 15 seconds and I'll get back to you. Okay, if you were able to feel something, you have just opened the gateway to living the most wonderful spiritual experience of all, your true self, your link with the divine. Describing consciousness with words has been attempted through millennia. The truth is that consciousness is such a subjective experience that there are no words to really describe it or thoughts to fully understand it. There are many beautiful depictions of consciousness by religions, spiritual teachings, science, and spiritual explorers like me. Consciousness has also been described as awareness, spirit, true self, and light, among other words. But again, words really don't matter. Eckhart Tolle said, words are just like street signs that indicate where to look at. The first clue to experience consciousness is to go beyond the words and just be in the destination where they are pointing to. Deepak Chopra also describes consciousness as something that cannot be understood or experienced by objective means. He says that only through a subjective experience with no words or thoughts involved, we can make internal contact with consciousness. Consciousness is everywhere. It is pure universal intelligence that has the power to drive energy and turn it into matter at every moment. We as human beings immersed in this universal ocean of consciousness do not escape to this loss. It's been proven that between the particles of atoms that form our cells, there is a vast space filled with pure energy. Your internal energy is therefore fused to the energy of all of the external objects and the rest of the universe. It's all one thing. Everything is entangled. At that level, there is no separation. There is only unity. This is why we so often hear the claim that we are all one, and this is true. One of the most popular ways to tap into consciousness is through meditation. Another way is through self-observation of our thoughts and feelings during our normal daily activities. Exercising body awareness from head to toes when we wake up and before we go to sleep is also a great tool for waking up your consciousness. Incorporating these practices into your daily life is the best thing you can do. It will provide you with the ability to become the watcher of your ego. And why is that important? Because you will no longer be at its mercy. You will be less reactive to the challenges that we all face on a daily basis. And the wisdom of the universal intelligence will start flowing freely through you. You will regain your original power by reconnecting to the source of everything that is. This wisdom, you will improve your life in all areas. You will make better choices and will achieve better outcomes. I have been able to prove this in many situations. I will describe two of them for you. As a singer, my ego played a very important role during my professional career. I can say that I did well, but now I realize that I never achieved my full vocal potential until I incorporated consciousness into my singing practices. During my teen years, I admired very much one of the greatest singers ever in the Hispanic music industry. I never imagined that in the future I would end up having lunch with him and attending the same parties. His name is Jose Jose. His songs were not only beautiful, but difficult to sing. They were recorded in a very high pitch that only this man could beautifully sing with apparently no effort. While I also experienced in my own career the challenge of singing live, high-pitched songs in massive concerts and records, for some reason I hadn't been able to sing flawlessly the repertoire of this great singer. It wasn't until recently that during my private rehearsals, I switched from thinking while singing to internal consciousness of my full body when I sing. Finally, I was able to reach what I consider to be the unreachable for more than 20 years. I mounted this whole repertoire of songs in its original pitch without a problem. Another example of my use of consciousness happened when I went through one of the worst and most complicated situations in my life. When I migrated to the US in January 2008, the worst crisis ever since 1929 in this country was just beginning. Nobody knew at the time how bad this would turn out to be. I was supposed to buy or start a business here so I could stay and provide for my family. We came with a loan capital that had to be repaid. After months of desperate attempts to buy or start a business in the midst of this horrible crisis, we ended up with no business and no money. We had the obligation to repay the loan, but we were unable to do so. As a result of this, We had to voluntarily surrender our house in order to cover the collateral damage that we had caused. Some family members on my wife's side and a friend of mine were involved in this. The situation turned out very ugly. I was accused of nonsense things like having fled from my country because I was escaping justice. It was also said that I lied and manipulated a family member in order to get her to be our co-signer, and many other disgraceful things were said, but absolutely none of that was true. I may have made a poor decision at the time, but my intentions were always good, and I always acted with transparency. No doubt this has been one of the most difficult situations I've ever faced. Fortunately, I was able to incorporate consciousness at every moment of this painful process. I did not allow my ego to take over and react in a violent way, or blame anybody else. We lost our house, our money, and our relationship with part of the beloved family. However, my wife, my kids, and I grew stronger and more united than ever. Poor decisions are normally taken when consciousness is not part of the game. Fear can easily take over. This is why it is so important to regain our lost consciousness. We were once pure and conscious beings who, through the dysfunctional process of identification with our egos, have repressed the greatest and most important part of us, consciousness. Consciousness is our gateway to the very center of the universal intelligence, to what we call God. Consciousness is our link and the way to experience its presence in our daily lives. Wisdom, love, peace, tranquility, and contentment all reside in consciousness. Consciousness is your greater self. It lives within each one of our cells and atoms, which are not only intelligent, but conscious too. It is in every animal and plant. It is in every object, in a rock, in water, in earth. It is everywhere and in every planet and creature of the entire universe. It is the universal force that brings everything into existence. It is the ruler of the universe, and you are its ambassador to earth. Consciousness is within you, and you can learn how to tap into its power through meditation and self-observation. I urge you to get in touch with it. You need it. The world desperately needs it. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. And head to our website for insights, tips, and much more. Once you are on MILLENNIA.com, please sign up for our email updates and share your comments and experiences with us. Practice meditation, live in the present moment, and always be the silent observer of your thoughts and feelings. This is MILLENNIA TV. Let's evolve together.